Welcome in, and this Cardano red opens on what an hour keeps. The last closed hour settled at 18.67 cents. The working chart today carries no wicks at all, only bodies open to close, so each bar shows what its hour held onto and nothing of what it merely reached and then gave back. Start at the far end. Every week this asset has traded 8 1/3 years of them folded into 9 boxes, one per year. The tallest holds the record, $3.10, and the last closed hour sits 94% under it. The counter is already running at that scale. Across those 9 yearly boxes, the bodies come to 58% of the total height, so more than 40% of a year is reached that never settled. The last box, and the tail of the one before it, is the year we are about to enter. Watch its outline lift off the record and grow into the frame rather than cut to it. 365 sessions now. The floor of the year is 13.82 cents, the ceiling is $1.02, and the last closed hour sits 5.5% up that height. Both of those extremes are Wick. The session that made the ceiling closed more than 9 cents under its own high, 2/3 of that bar being pure overshoot. The session that made the floor closed 56 ticks above the price everyone quotes for it. One session in 364 ranged past 40% of its own open. That was the cascade, and even it kept barely 1/3 of what it reached. 2 separate files agree on it to the tick. At this scale, the counter reads 48%, and across every closed week on file, it reads 46. Cut the tape however you like, the number hardly moves. Now, the band. 14.9 cents up to 21.17. Everything the 1,000-hour window holds is 7.1% of the year's amplitude. It is shaded here first, then the price axis closes onto it. 999 closed hours, and not one wick among them. This is the ribbon of what was kept. Each bar runs open to close, and where an hour ended where it began, there is nothing left but a line. Added up, the bodies come to 47.9% of the total range. Just under half of everything traded in this window ever survived to a close. The ribbon tops at 20.89 cents and bottoms at 15.01. The window's real high and low, 21.17 and 14.9, are simply not on this chart. Since the last read here, the 27 hours have closed. The price that titled it, 19.55 cents, was never seen again. No close above it, and no print above it either. The best of the whole stretch stopped 3 ticks short. 19.38 is the interesting one. The first hour after that red closed exactly on it. 26 closed under, and not one closed above. 3 hours printed over it, and handed it straight back inside their own hour. The fork published 2 reads ago sits at 17.63 cents. 27 closes above it, nothing printed under it, and 4% of air below. It is still unanswered. Now put the wicks back pale over the same bodies. Everything that appears is amplitude that did not last its own hour, and the shape of the fall does not change at all when they arrive. Here is the payload. Over those 27 hours, the upper wicks and the lower wicks come to almost the same total, so the overshoot explains none of the direction. The falling bodies are more than twice the rising ones. This decline was carried by closes. On closed candles, the strength reading is 39.8, where the file says 40.5 with an unfinished hour folded in. The day is 2.81% lower on either count. So, one price, and at every scale roughly half of each bar is handed back. 1 bar, 1 vote. This close beats about 3/4 of these hours, 1/6 of the year's sessions, and 1/3 of every week on file. Educational analysis, not financial advice. Subscribe so the next count finds you, like the video if it earned it, and pass it on.